My name is James Fox, and I'm the president of the Apex Neighborhood and Apex 5 Condo Association. The neighborhood unit has 385 units, and they're in 5 different associations. In Apex 5, the one I'm in, which is the largest and the newest, most recently built, we have 114 units in our group. In the past, the management company we previously had, they ended up having problems keeping up with their finances, and the finances got really, really delayed. We weren't getting the attention the community needed because the CAM was so spread out over several other communities. And so when we came to Affinity, Affinity convinced us that we could have a person on site for the same amount of money that we were paying for the other services from the other company. What made that happen is, to be honest, we ended up getting a good management team from Affinity. And it's, in my experience, management starts with the CAM in the community, the person who's the manager of community. And quite frankly, when the first CAM we got from Affinity, which lasted 60 days and we were all nervous, was pretty inexperienced and did not work out. But to Affinity's credit, they identified that immediately. And so they switched CAMs, and then we got the new CAM we got today, Santiago Lopez, who's here with us today. Santiago's come in and really identified areas for cost savings for the company. So we interviewed 12 companies in trying to find a replacement for our past management company, and we narrowed it down to 3 companies, and we interviewed all 3 companies, the head of the companies, and it was Pedro's manager, the president, I guess, or CEO here in Affinity, who convinced us that we could have an on-site person for the same amount of money we were paying, and that's made all the difference in the world, having somebody on site every day. Well, I have to say that the management team that have gotten from Affinity has been excellent. Both the Santiago, Zara, the lady in finance, they inherited records from the old company that, quite frankly, were missing things. Even our auditor can't do the audit because the records aren't there to have the information that's needed. Affinity, through patience and time, finally have gotten the finances, and in June for the first time, we finally got financial records in almost a year we can use to determine where we're at as an association. So that's really helped us because it's allowed us to we can identify who actually lives there now. Before, we didn't have accurate records of who was living in what buildings, what cars were registered to whom, and that sort of thing. And by having Affinity there, we're able to take care of that. In addition, and a huge one is, Affinity was able to find us a landscaping company that was able to come in and identify serious problems that we've had. And they've been able to rectify that, and the community looks 10 times better than it did 6 months ago. So building a team in a community, as you can imagine, when I first came in, there were a board already established, and we became the 5th group member on the board. And so there were 5 board members for the neighborhood. There's a lot of differences. For example, the first community built did not have elevators. And so the other communities have elevators. And so from a financial perspective, although each association is responsible for their elevators, it affects budgets, and it's kept the association apart. With the help of Affinity, I think down the line there's a real good chance we're going to be able to blend everything together and have one association and eliminate the 5 segregated communities. That's the vision, and with Affinity's help, I think we'll be able to do that. I think it's critical that we were able to get financials updated that are accurate. I know our CAM that's presently on site, Santiago Lopez, he spent a lot of time getting all the finances put in the exact spot they're supposed to go. So now when we read our financial statements, we know exactly what we have, where the money is, how much money we need to collect, what the outgoing of the money is. Very critical to an association. Obviously, that's the most important thing, is the financial structure, and Affinity's been able to give us a lot of help and strength in that. I think Affinity brings the most valuable in being able to have the right people in the right place at the right time to be able to help the association. As I mentioned, your financial group has done yeoman work of bringing the association to where it needed to be on the financial side. The local CAM and his helper, Ronnie, and they are able to identify cost-saving areas and think of ways that we're able to reduce costs to the association, which has been extremely helpful in getting the finances organized. I think Affinity's been very, very professional group. I think they respond to problems immediately when they identify them. As I mentioned earlier, for the first 2 months, we were all concerned because we didn't have the correct person in the position we thought needed to be. And without us even asking, Affinity identified the problem immediately and corrected that. And then additionally, they were able to identify the problem on the financial side and bring about new phase of how we actually understand our finances as an association. Yes, I would, and I have recommended Affinity to a couple other associations. In fact, I had a phone call yesterday from a gentleman who's the president of another association very close to us, and they had the old company we have, and they're trying to get out of their contract, and I highly suggested that they talk to Affinity about the possibility of trying to work with them.